FPL Gameweek 18 team selection on the FPL Joe YouTube channel. Today we'll be recapping Gameweek 17 and then moving on to Gameweek 18, where I'll finally be playing my free hit and revealing the free hit draft. So 79 points all out, another small green arrow from 166k down to 187k, another week struggling to break into the top 100k. First up, we've got to talk about Haaland. He scored 2 goals and got 1 assist in Gameweek 17 for a massive 16-point haul. This is his joint best score of the season, tied with Gameweek 6 against Burnley. 900,000 people triple captained him in this game week, and at 212% effective ownership at my rank, that meant I actually lost 2 points from this massive haul despite captaining him. However, after an awful run of captaincy choices in the previous 6 game weeks, it was a relief to actually get it right for once, even if I didn't actually gain any rank from it. Next up is Cielo. I brought Cielo in for the great fixture against Burnley and he didn't disappoint. He was able to score a goal and secure maximum bonus points for a 10-pointer. So while it's not his biggest haul this season, Cielo gets the MVP award for performing just when I needed him to. Collins also deserves some recognition here. At only 2% effective ownership near me, he scored an 8-pointer against Wolves. Kelleher provided heroics for Brentford this week, saving a penalty to retain their clean sheet. Those who opted for Lewis Potter or Kelleher saw even bigger returns, gaining 21 points or 13 points respectively. The flop of this week was undoubtedly Bruno. He was taken off at half-time after sustaining what looked to be a hamstring injury at the end of the first half. Bruno's injury record is astonishing, having only missed 2 games with injury and 1 with illness in the last 6 years. It's incredibly disappointing as a United fan. He's undoubtedly our key man and will be a tough couple of weeks without him. The honourable mention for flop this week goes to Lacroix. Leeds dismantled Palace in a 4-1 thrashing at Ellen Road, and despite the 17 DEFCON, the 4 goals conceded and the yellow card meant only a 1-pointer this week for Lacroix. Anderson came away with 7 points on the bench, with Fulham actually holding a clean sheet and a fairly quiet 1-0 win. It was a fair 50-50 call of which of these 2 defenders to start, so it doesn't bother me too much. So after a fairly uneventful Game Week 17, let's move on to Game Week 18. So we'll be looking straight at each player's predicted points, courtesy of FPL Review and Fantasy Football Hub. Looking at the past and upcoming fixture runs for each team, I'm aiming to bring in differential players who have mediocre fixtures on either side, who managers either won't have in the teams already or won't be planning to buy this game week for the upcoming fixture run. And as usual, the 2 teams to target are Wolves and Burnley, so Liverpool and Everton are the 2 teams I'll be loading up on. And first things first, Bruno has got to go. One frustrating thing about playing the free hit this week is that I'll have to rebuy any players who I do want to keep in the following week, and I'll lose all the price changes that I was able to get this week. Luckily, player prices have stabilised significantly after the 5 AFCON transfers, so it's not a major concern. So, I'll be starting the free hit transfers with Saka to Wirtz and Bruno to Rice. This finally gets Bruno out of the team and frees up a lot of funds for upgrades elsewhere while retaining the Arsenal coverage in Rice. Looking at recent form for forwards, there are 4 main players and of course Haaland who I'm interested in. Thiago's been very poor, failing to register a single shot in 180 minutes against Leeds and Wolves. His penalty goals have also dried up, with Dango Ouattara leaving for AFCON. Bowen's starting to pick up some pace, but he's more of a long-term option and will be a consideration for purchasing next game week rather than this game week. And that leaves both Ekitike and Calvert-Lewin. Ekitike has hit a great run of form, and with Isak set to be out for months, he's a lock in the free hit team, and a high chance of rebuying next game week too. Calvert-Lewin on the other hand has been on a ridiculous run of form, which is surprisingly backed by his expected numbers. It's not just an overperformance here. People who are looking to buy him this week have mostly missed the bus on him. Leeds have got a very tough fixture run after this match against Sunderland. He does, however, offer a great 1-week punt this week, having wiped 3 clean sheets from me in the last 5 game weeks, so I'm still interested in bringing him in. So with that in mind, it's Thiago to Ekitike and Guiu to Calvert-Lewin. I'll then be completing the Liverpool triple up with Collins to Virgil. I've got minimal faith in Liverpool to actually keep a clean sheet this week, but there are a few better fixtures to target than Wolves at home, so I've got to take a bet on it. I'll then also be adding some Everton defensive coverage by moving Lacroix to Keane. Finally, I'm going to be upgrading Semenyo to Cunha. Cunha's taken a massive number of shots for United in recent weeks. He's looking to be the player from their front line to target, especially with Mbeumo off to AFCON. He's a promising long-term pick, so I might also be rebuying him next game week. The main concern here is whether, with Bruno out, he'll still get the same volume of chances. But ultimately, there are a few better picks in midfield this week, and with Newcastle missing a number of key backline players to injury, he's going to join the free hit squad. Lastly, I'm also looking to strengthen the bench by bringing in Stack and Mukiele, and reordering the bench to put Calvert-Lewin in the first spot. I then took some time to reflect throughout the week and decided that ultimately I wasn't attacking the free hit enough, so I've got one more key move to make. I'll be dropping Mukiele down to Heaven, who is one of the few playing 3.8 million defenders, in the unlikely event I do need to call on him this week. That gives the exact funds to upgrade O'Reilly to Tarkowski. This doubles up on the Everton defence for their good fixture, I can see City coming away with a 3-1 win against Forest, as they have a tendency to leak goals against middling opposition while still outscoring them to ultimately claim the win. However, just as easily, O'Reilly, who often plays in a very advanced role, could get an attacking return and a clean sheet for a massive haul. So I'll be relying on Tarkowski's stellar DEFCON record and slightly better clean sheet odds this week to come out on top. And with that, the team is locked. For anyone wondering, you cancel any hits you take when playing either free hit or the wildcard chip, so no minus 32 for me this week. The final decision is captaincy, and it's a very close tie between Haaland and Ekitike this week. Provisionally, I've got the captaincy on Haaland so far. He's got a similar level of predicted goals and points to Ekitike this weekend, but with a much higher effective ownership and potential rank damage. The vice-captain therefore is going to be on Ekitike. In the spirit of attacking the free hit, there's a good argument for going all in and captaining him. It just comes down to whether I'm willing to take that risk. And that wraps up the Gameweek 18 free hit team selection. If you enjoyed the video, a like and subscribe would go a huge way in supporting this new channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back to prepare for Gameweek 19 in a few days with only a very short 2-day turnaround. Best of luck, and fingers crossed for another green arrow.